Hello.
Good to see you, Professor P. Sharma. Very warm welcome to you, Professor P.B. Sharma, Colonel Bakshi, Mr. Singh, Professor Kamal Khan, Professor Leon, Professor Kaushik. Great to see all of you.
Thank you so much.
These are our vice chancellors of the various universities. This is Professor P.B. Sharma. Yeah. Professor Leon Chong, Dr. Kamal Khan, and our chancellor is also online.
Chair, with your permission, may we begin?
Yes.
Good afternoon to one and all present today. We all have gathered here to welcome a very esteemed and prestigious delegation from the La Trobe University, Australia. It is therefore befitting to start the occasion with a Sanskrit phrase, Vasudev Kutumbakam, which simply means the world is one family. Emulating this ancient doctrine, Amity, under the great grand vision of our most respected founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan sir, our honorable chancellors, Dr. Atul Chauhan sir, Dr. Asim Chauhan sir, we are delighted to welcome La Trobe University on campus, although we have had an exchange with them long years back, and we have been in constant discussions with La Trobe University, Australia. We are delighted that we are together embarking upon a new journey of transforming the world through education, scientific research, and philanthropy. May I now request upon my co-host, Ms. Prachi Kapoor, to take us further.
Thank you so much, Marut sir. India and Australia are both the Commonwealth of Nations, share political, economic, security, lingual, educational ties. Besides strong trading and migration, culture, arts, music, commercial, and international sports emerged as a strong cultural connection between the two nations. In continuous efforts to step up internationalization, Amity and La Trobe have nurtured long association over the years in research, student exchange, and other short-term programs. Amity has also launched a Center of Excellence with our Greater Noida campus back in October 2018, where the center has conducted several workshops in the area of artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and software engineering. Our Amity students have also visited their campus when they went for their study abroad program and were given the opportunity for social interaction with their students.
In addition to the strongest pillars of the Amity Education Group and key functionaries who are present on this August occasion, it is also my proud privilege and extreme honor to introduce to you this erudite panel that is visiting us. We have with us Professor John Devar, who is the Vice Chancellor of La Trobe University. He is also the President. May we please request to welcome with a thundering applause. We are also joined by Professor Amalia Delorio. She is the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Academic Partnerships and Engagement. We also have with us Mr. Amit Malhotra, who is the Regional Director, South Asia and Africa, La Trobe University. Professor John Devar is the Vice Chancellor and the President of La Trobe University. He is a graduate and is illustrious alumnus of the University of Oxford. He taught at the universities of Lancaster and Warwick in the UK and has worked in London law firms Allen & Overy and Farrer & Co. He is an honorary fellow of the Hertford College, Oxford, an adjunct professor in the Melbourne Law School and the La Trobe Law School, and also a visiting professor at the Helena Kennedy Center for International Justice at Sheffield Hallam. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
We're also joined by Professor Amelia Delorio. Dr. Amelia Delorio is a professor of finance at La Trobe University. Her primary research interests are in the area of empirical finance, exchange rate risk, and asset pricing. She has an international research profile and has published in many different journals that are highly regarded in the finance area. Notably, she has published in a very highly respected finance journal named The Pacific Basin and has also presented papers at numerous peer-reviewed international conferences. Can we have a loud round of applause, please? We're also joined further by Mr. Amit Malhotra, Regional Director, South Asia and Africa, La Trobe University. His earlier engagements include being an international director recruitment with La Trobe and also has been engaged as an associate director South Asia with La Trobe University. Can we have a round of applause, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, going further, I would love to invite the top leadership of Amity. But before that, I wish to share with you a perspective that education is the only, and when I say only, I mean it. Education is the only most powerful weapon which can change the world. You can just ponder upon the thought. You know, you learn by doing new things, and when you study abroad, everything is also new. Having said that, it is my extreme honor to call upon the cynosure of Amity, who has been instrumental in setting up Amity's global footprints. Today, the mighty strength of the group that we see is because of this great personage. He is a cross-culture expert, a trainer par excellence, a champion of human hearts, and above all, a great orator. I have an extreme honor of inviting my teacher, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, sir, Group Vice Chancellor. Please keep the applauses coming.
May we also take the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Piyush Goyal from Piyush Bahi, I believe, I'm so sorry, from La Trobe University. Thank you so much.
What a privilege to welcome our very close friends from Australia, Professor John Dever, Professor Amelia, Mr. Amit, Mr. Piyush, on behalf of our very respected founder president, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, on behalf of our honorable chancellors, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Dr. Asim Chauhan, all the 11 vice chancellors of Amity universities, our very senior people who are present here, Dr. Silva Murthy, Professor B.C. Das, Real Admiral Bhatnagar, Dr. Abhay Bansal, Ambassador Agarwal, all senior deans, very senior director generals of the various directorates, our faculty members, and on my own behalf, as a group vice chancellor, I welcome you, Professor Dever. It's really a privilege to see you again in India. We have been friends for long, and I remember when last time Professor Dever came, we became not only the great friends who are contributing in the field of academics, but La Trobe came closer to Amity by establishing their center at our Greater Noida campus. And through this center, we have conducted a number of workshops for the industry. We did a number of workshops for the faculty development. And whenever the students of Amity, they are in Melbourne, we are privileged that they visit La Trobe University. Professor Amelia has been a great friend and admirer of Amity family. And it's certainly a privilege to welcome you on behalf of Amity family. Amit, thank you so much for bringing La Trobe and Amity together. Your contribution is very significant, and so is of Dr. Piyush. We are meeting you for the first time, but very warm welcome to you. Amity, Professor Dever, is a dream child of Dr. Chauhan, who is our founder, who is listening you live, and our chancellors are listening you live. And I can see our vice chancellors, some of those who have been joining us from across the campus. I can see Professor P.V. Sharma, Professor Bhatnagar, Professor Leon from Singapore, Professor Kaushik, Professor Dwivedi, Professor Himanshu, and many other vice chancellors, senior members who are watching you online. And there are thousands of students who are listening to these deliberations today, which are happening in this auditorium. But Amity family with 200,000 students, it's a dream child of Dr. Chauhan, who came with one vision, one aim back to India after spending 3 decades in Europe, that we need to create educational institutions, we need to create a group which should have meaningful partnership and which should bring the world closer. These are the 2 chancellors, Dr. Atul Chauhan, who himself is a product of London School of Economics. Like yourself, you have done your advanced studies at Oxford. Dr. Atul Chauhan has studied at University College London and at LSE. And Dr. Asim Chauhan, who after spending long years in America at Wharton, has come and has taken our leadership. Uh, Today in this room, we have got Dr. Murthy, who's sitting next to you. He's the president of ASTIF and is responsible for bringing excellence in science and technology. And towards your right, you can see Professor P.C. Das, who is one of the known scientists in India who is working on a number of initiatives in the microbiology and on the cancer diseases, and is also the chairman of all the research programs which we are developing with you. Amity has got 200,000 students. Last time when we met, we were having a strength of 120,000 5 years back. Today, Amity has got a strength of 200,000 students. 6,000 faculty and scientists, they are working for Amity, and another 4,000 are our adjunct faculties. We have got 11 universities in Noida, where you are sitting is our flagship university, in Gurugram, in Greater Noida, in Lucknow, in Jaipur, Mumbai, Gwalior, Kolkata, Raipur, Ranchi, Patna, Mohali, and Bengaluru. 150 plus institutions who are offering almost more than 300 programs. We have got overseas universities and campuses, including our university in London. We are next to the British Museum at Bedford Square. In Singapore, we have got a campus, and Professor Leon, who is our CEO there, has joined us online. He will be speaking after a while. We have got a campus in New York. It's a 175 acres campus, which we have brought from St. John's University. We have got a university in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in Sharjah, in Mauritius, in South Africa, in Kenya, in China, in Amsterdam, in San Francisco, and a new university, since you have visited, has come out in Uzbekistan, where we are concentrating on new age technology programs. We have got 28 schools and preschools, 2,000 acres of campuses, 20 million of square feet of buildings we have been able to create, and these are all greenfield projects. 400 programs, 1,780 patents now we have been able to file, 3,500 case studies. Professor Amelia, which is your field, management, our faculty have been able to publish. More than 400 research projects which are funded by the government of India we have been doing, and have got a privilege of doing one project with one of your leading faculty members in the area of computer science. Alumni across the world, and of course, ranked as #1 non-for-profit private university of India from the last 9 years. All the major recognition and accreditations the university has got, including recognized by the UGC, established under the Amity University Act, NAC A+ grade, which is the very few universities in India have been able to get, affiliation with the Association of Indian Universities, accreditation from IIT, and what is something special which we wanted to share with you was that we are today amongst the top 3% universities of the world globally as per the QS ranking and as per the THE ranking, and the only university of Asia which has got the accreditation from WASC, which is the US regional accreditation body, and the only university of Asia which has been able to get the accreditation from QA UK. And it was not essential for us, Professor Devar, to get these accreditations, but we thought that it may be good for us that if we are able to benchmark ourselves against the US standards and as per the UK standards. And this slides make us very special. In India, we are amongst the top 6 education institution and universities as far as the employability is concerned. And in the whole world, we are amongst the top 1.2% universities of the world who have been able to create most employable graduates, which include IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIT Kharagpur, and IIM Ahmedabad. And these are our institutions, just to give you an idea that where their latest rankings are. Our business school is amongst the top 3. Our international business school is the best business school of the country. Our School of Biotechnology, the best biotechnology institution of the country. Our School of Engineering, the best engineering institution of the country in the private sphere. Our School of Communication, the best school of communication in the country. Our law school amongst the top 3 law schools of the country. Our School of Education among the top 3. So you will find that whatever Amity is touching, we are trying to benchmark ourselves amongst the best in the world. In USA, we are the first one which are bringing Hero schools to New York, and feel so privileged that from next year, they will be fully operational. Amity, Australia, and thank you so much for bringing Professor David in the morning when we met. He said that he's bringing the greetings of the Australian Embassy, and we are so privileged that we work with the Australian Embassy very closely. Ambassador is a good friend and has been on the campus number of times, but we have got a distinction of sending highest number of students from India to Australia in the past few years. More than 800 students from this university has gone on study abroad programs, Explore America programs. Quite a few of them were very privileged that they visited you. Highest number of students from Australia have come to Amity under the New Colombo plan. So it's not only that we are sending, we are also receiving Australian students, and highest number of students have come to us. Ambassador of Australia has participated thrice in our international conferences. President and Vice Chancellors, including yourself, have participated in a number of conferences and events we have been organizing. We have the joint journals with some of the leading Australian academicians of the world. This is Australian Ambassador, His Excellency, High Commissioner of Australia, speaking in 2021. And Amity Latrobe initiatives. We are really lucky and privileged that we have got our leadership from Professor John Dever, who is not only the Vice Chancellor or President of the Latrobe University, but one of the leading academicians of the world. Through his approach of establishing meaningful partnerships in India, we became one of the very few universities which were able to create a joint center of eminence in research, education, and innovation at our Greater Noida campus. We submitted a Spark proposal on breaking the glass ceilings and increasing the gender diversity, a study on human and social capital of women and corporate boards, and prevalent boardrooms dynamics in India through this center. Workshops were conducted in the last 3-4 years on the business analytics for Amity students through this center at Amity campuses. Hosted Amity study abroad students, hundreds of our students have been able to understand the Latrobe culture by physically going whenever they are in Melbourne. Two of our faculty members are here. Dr. Navleen, who got a chance to visit Australia and was with you. Right? I myself, I got a privilege of going and visiting you. Dr. Abhay Bansal, who is sitting here, was a very dynamic director of ASSET. He was there and he has visited Latrobe. We have Dr. Kok Ong from Latrobe Business School as one of the members of our International Advisory Board. We have Dr. Craig from your university on our International Advisory Board. We know that Professor Amelia works very closely with our faculty. We're trying to develop various business and accounting programs. We have been the partner of Latrobe, and together we had organized the IEEE conference at Amity University, in which some of the top researchers across the globe, especially from Australia, participated. And if you remember, we hosted a reception last time when you came, and all the researchers were there. We have conducted series of special workshops on cybersecurity at Amity. And Professor Dever, you'll be happy to know that we became the first university and the first business school of the country, which were able to integrate technology-oriented programs. So in our business school, we are offering artificial intelligence, we're offering data analytics, we are offering machine learning, and we are offering business intelligence along with our MBA program, along with our BS programs. We conducted special faculty development program along with your faculty for our faculty members on the art of science of research collaboration by Latrobe. Dr. Chauhan, who's our founder, and our chancellor, who is listening to you online, both of them, they are conveying their greetings to you. And they have got special affection for Australia. From long, it's a dream of us that we should have meaningful partnership in Australia. We should have some physical presence, and we are further deliberating that how we can create campus in campus along with Latrobe. New education policy has come up in 2020. And now with the new education policy, there are new opportunities which are coming in. Many areas which were closed previously, they are open now. We can now explore offering twinning programs. We can look at offering dual degree programs. we can also offer opening Australian campuses now in India, which were earlier not at all possible. And that is the reason that we are further now discussing that how we can have physical presence of LETROB in India and how Amity can go to Australia. Study abroad programs, and we are in touch with your Pro-Vice Chancellor and Professor Amelia and myself. We had long discussions last week that how students and mobility between your university and our university can become more stronger. And Professor B.C. Das is there, where we are working now on developing very strong PhD program with LETROB. We are also looking at that how we can bring Singapore close to your university, and we have got Professor Leon, who's the CEO at Singapore campus, who is there, who will be talking for a while. But we'll explore that how we can do few programs at our Singapore campus also with LETROB. We're exploring and working with your faculty on number of programs, including business courses, psychology, international relations, and engineering. And today in the morning, I had long discussions with Professor Sajnani, who's a dean of the travel and tourism, and he is very keen that we should be able to explore this new area for the collaboration also. Opportunities are enormous, but whenever we see our friends, we are very happy. Again, once again, on behalf of Amity family, on behalf of our founder, Dr. Chauhan, on behalf of our chancellors, on my own behalf, it's such a privilege to see you once again in India. Thank you so very much. I think before we invite Dr. Silvamurthy, who is the #1 scientist of India, I would request very briefly if our very senior colleagues who are present here, not in any order, but if they can introduce themselves. We'll start with you, Real Admiral Bhatnagar.
Good afternoon. My name is Rear Admiral Bhatnagar, and as the prefix to my name suggests, I'm a naval veteran. Here in Amity, I am the Deputy Director General for International Affairs Division, and I work very closely with Dr. Gurinder, our Group Vice Chancellor, towards internationalization of Amity. Dr. Devar and Dr. Amelia and other senior members for the university visiting us. I offer you my greetings and a very warm welcome to India and Amity. I hope you're able to cope up with this 33 degrees as against 16 that Melbourne is enjoying now. I would add that India and Australia are natural allies at the strategic level, and as we are vibrant democracies and societies, as well as we support rule. Can ally at those strategic levels. It's only natural we should get together in the field of education, make generations, make this world a better place for us and future generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Admiral Bhatnagar. Since the time is short, we will simply say name and your designation, and then later on, during interaction, we will be able to talk on the various opportunities. Professor Das, one of our leading scientists.
At outset, I welcome Professor Devar and Professor Amelia from the LETROB University, to the Amity. And I introduce myself as B.C. Das. I am the chairman of the Molecular Medicine and Stem Cell Research, so Dean of Health and Allied Sciences, also the chairman of the University Research Council. So what was Professor Gurinder Singh has mentioned, and we look forward for collaboration of the, not only just to exchange, also for PhD exchange program. We have several programs there where we can make the co-guide or the external co-guide from the other university, or our student can join PhD program there, and our faculty can be also co-guide from here. So that's the program. We look forward for all such collaborations in this field of research and innovation.
Thank you, Professor Das. Dr. Silvamurthy.
Yeah, very good afternoon and welcome to Amity. We are so delighted. Such a great delegation is with us. And we look forward to expanding, deepening our relationship with you, with your university, and with Australia. I am the president of Amity Science, Technology and Innovation Foundation and Chancellor of Amity University, Chhattisgarh. Thank you very much.
Very good afternoon. It's really nice to have Professor John, Amalia, Amit, and Piyush. Latrobe is a very old partner for us, and Group Vice Chancellor Sir has already mentioned whenever our group goes to Australia, to Melbourne, always we visit Latrobe. It's a wonderful infrastructure, very latest high-tech courses they've offered. And just to mention, there are many students from our engineering college, they are going and doing masters, and they've done from Latrobe also. We look forward, as NEP 2020 has allowed us to offer dual degree, has allowed us to have a joint degree, and we are very much interested to have a program, Bachelor of Cybersecurity and AI and Business Analytics program. So there is a big scope. As Group Vice Chancellor Sir has mentioned, we can run this program, and in our engineering college, we have 5,000 plus engineering students. We have bachelor program in computer science, IT, mechanical, civil, electrical, electronics, master program, and it is one of the largest institutions. And there are a lot of opportunity which we feel. And myself, Professor Dr. Abhay Bansal, I am heading Amity School of Engineering and Technology and Director for International Collaboration for Engineering and Technology. Thank you, and I welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Bansal. Ambassador Agarwal, please introduce us. Name and designation, I think that's it.
Good afternoon. I welcome the incoming delegation from Australia. I'm a retired ambassador, R.M. Agarwal, now with Amity University for 13 years. I served in Ministry of External Affairs in diplomatic assignments for over 35 years. I'm also with the International Amity Center for International Cooperation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Amity. Welcome to India. I am Sanjeev Bansal. I am representing Amity Business School, the first school of higher education in this entire group. And I'm also responsible for Faculty of Management Studies. So there are a lot of opportunities where we can collaborate. Welcome to India.
Good afternoon. Welcome to India and welcome to Amity. I am Professor Dr. Manohar Sajnani, Dean Faculty for Tourism and Hotel Management. And if I remember correctly, yesterday was the Foundation Day for Melbourne. So belated happy Foundation Day for Melbourne, completing 187 years, I believe, if I remember correctly. And when I was glancing through the website of Latrobe University, I found, common areas of interest for research. I am in touch with Professor Jeffrey and Professor Warwick Frost, and I could, find some areas of common interest for research. Look forward to. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Very warm welcome to our university from Australia. And I am Dr. S.K. Srivastava. I spent my entire life in the field of disability, particularly in government sector. I was in Government of India, also in the state government, headed various institutions, and now joined Amity as Senior Director and Advisor at Founder President Office. And I'm heading the Amity Foundation for Developmental Disabilities. My focus is for artificial intelligence in the field of mental impairment. I would like to have collaboration with your esteemed university in this field. And for that, I'll find some scope with discussion with Dr. Gurinder Singh. Thank you very much. Most welcome.
Thank you. Very good afternoon and very warm welcome to Amity. I'm Professor Nagalakshmi here, heading Amity Institute of International Studies. Here, I'd like to take this opportunity to share a few things. In 24 Jan 2018, we had an opportunity to interact with Latrobe University students who were here on the India study tour. So on that, we were working on understanding the emerging issues on social political situations. So that was the thing here. Professor Govinder Chavan, head of the Department of Politics and Philosophy in the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Latrobe University, he was here along with the students. And Mr. Alexander Avies, New Generation Scholars with the Latrobe Network, the Australia India Institute. And this was in coordination with CP PR, that is Consultant Center for Public Policy Research. So along with this, ASEAN students were here, ASEAN from through ASEAN countries, around 22 students were here. So we had a very good opportunity interacting. And after this interaction, what was the outcome was, you can say that two of our students had been in study abroad program to Australia. So from that time onwards, we are in close touch. So we would really look forward to have more interactions and more students going to the university. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Most welcome in Amity campus. This is Professor Tinku Basu. I am looking after Amity Center for Nanomedicine. This is a center which has been established under the noble guidance of Professor B.C. Das. We are basically working over here the applications of various nanostructured material for the healthcare with special reference to diagnostics, drug delivery, and tissue engineering. We are very much keen to collaborate with you with respect to the research collaboration, external guide, and also we can go for various types of articulate program which can be comfortable from both of us. Thank you so much.
A very good afternoon, everyone. I have been to La Trobe. That is the privilege that I have got. I'm Dr. Navleen Kaur and I'm a professor here for accounting and finance. So it was a privilege being there and hope to meet you again in the future too. So thank you so much.
A very good afternoon to the esteemed guest. I am Dr. Shweta Nanda. I am professor in the area of marketing and emerging technologies. And I have a keen interest in the international research collaborations. And I look forward to meet you. Thank you.
Dr. Nutan Kaushik, you can start.
Very good afternoon to all of you. I'm Nutan Kaushik. I'm Director General of Amity Food and Agriculture Foundation. And I have very close relationship with Australia for past 20 years. So I've done a couple of Indo-Australia projects with the University of Melbourne and Queensland University. And I would be very happy to collaborate with La Trobe University also. Not only doing the close project, but we also have teaching institution. We offer BSc Honours Agriculture and MSc Agronomy, MSc Horticulture, Foods and Food Technology kind of programs. So we will be, and also, so we will be very happy to collaborate with your university. So looking forward to the deliberations which will happen. Thank you.
Welcome to Amity. It's our privilege. I know I belong to a foundation called Amity Foundation for Science, Technology and Innovation Alliance, with a prime job of converting or step forward from educational partnership to research partnership, which will make sense for tomorrow. Science making economic sense is the mantra this foundation would like to follow, especially with La Trobe. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Amity. Welcome to India. My name is Dr. Neeraj Sharma. In my previous avatar, I was the Secretary to the Technology Development Board, Government of India. Here, along with my colleague Chakravarti, I'm sort of trying to strengthen the S&T research, technology development, and infrastructure in the university. We would also like to say that there are many programs, the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, along with the Australian side, they are supporting. So we would like as much as research proposal and technology proposal with the Australian side and Indian side. Thank you very much.
My greetings to delegation from Australia. My name is Gopal Bhushan. This is my second inning in my professional career. I have spent about 35 years in Defense Research and Development Organization, Ministry of Defense. Here I am Deputy Director General in Science and Innovation Directorate. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to Amity. I am Ranjana Bhatia. I am looking after Amity Institute of Psychology and Allied Sciences. This is one of the happening subject these days, especially after pandemic. And we have as many as 3,000 plus students in our institute. We run 14 programs, 5 at UG level and 4 at PG level, and then few diplomas. Our flagship program is clinical psychology. So there is a lot of demand of this subject and a lot of scope for collaborating with your esteemed university. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, let us welcome Dr. Aseem Chauhan, the Chancellor of Amity University, Haryana, Rajasthan, and also additional president of our foundation, RBEF. Welcome, Dr. Aseem ji.
Thank you, Dr. Sarvamurthy. I've been here from the first minute and hearing the introductions of all of our eminent people. Wonderful to be here. Thank you, Dr. Sarvamurthy.
Thank you. Welcome. Maybe Professor Gurinder, if you can ask.
Yeah, we will do that. I think that let them finish. We'll request everyone. Yeah.
So, good afternoon. I'm Professor Dr. Seema Bhatnagar. I'm representing Amity Institute of Biotechnology. I'm assistant director over there. And so our institute has been established in 2002, and we boast of all areas of biotechnology, from bioinformatics to plant biotechnology, medical biotechnology, bioinformatics, and every possible area in bioinformatics. And I do see a lot of areas which would be of interest to us for collaboration. I welcome the delegates from La Trobe, and I look forward to very fruitful discussions today. Thank you.
Professor Singh.
Well, good afternoon. I'm A.P. Singh. I'm the director of Amity Institute of Amity School of Insurance, Banking, and Actuarial Science.
Good afternoon. I'm Pratiman Unial. I'm the part of the team of International Affairs Division. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratiman. And we can see very senior people joining us online. We can see Professor P.B. Sharma, very able Vice Chancellor. Maybe just a minute, if each one of you can introduce yourself. Professor P.B. Sharma, we'll start with you.
A very warm welcome to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Devar. I'm Professor P.B. Sharma, Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Haryana, former Vice Chancellor of Delhi Technological University and Rajiv Gandhi Technological University, and also President of AIU, Association of Indian Universities. We are so delighted that you are here in India and visiting our university at Noida. We'll be equally delighted to work with you and your colleagues in the areas of life sciences and biotechnology, nanoscience and technology, business analytics, cyber security, and also technology that will impact the behavior of people tomorrow, technology of conscience. Some of these areas, I look forward to very active collaboration and cooperation between the two universities. Thank you so much.
Leon, we will be calling you after a while, but very briefly, you can introduce you.
Hello, very good afternoon to all of you. My name is Professor Leon Chung. I'm the regional CEO for Amity in the ASEAN region. I am based in Singapore.
Thank you, Professor Leon. Professor Bhatnagar.
This is Professor Rakesh Bhatnagar. I'm Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Rajasthan, Jaipur, which is situated about 200 kilometers from Noida, and look forward for future collaborations with all our campuses. Thank you.
Our Lieutenant General Gadiok, one of the stalwarts of Amity University.
Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to you, and hearty welcome to La Trobe delegation. We are extremely heartened to have you here with us today in one of the premier universities, that is Amity University of India. I have served 40 years as distinguished career in the Indian Army, and presently I'm tenanting the coveted position of Director General of Amity Institute of Defense and Strategic Studies. We are very fortunate to be heading one of the leading think tanks, that is Amity Center for Defense and Strategic Analysis and Amity Institute of Defense and Strategic Studies. I'm also the Vice Chairman of Amity Institute of Defense Technology and the Vice President of Amity Science Technology Innovation Foundation. We are looking forward to having a very fine symbiotic relationship, in fact, as far as defense and strategic studies is concerned, with the Australian universities. We wish you all the very best in your endeavors over here and a pleasant stay with us at Amity University. Thank you very much.
Professor Kaushik.
Good afternoon and warm welcome to and greetings to the esteemed member of the delegation from the La Trobe University. I am Professor Dr. M.P. Kaushik, Pro Vice Chancellor and Dean Research. And before joining Amity University, Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior, which is approximately 110 kilometers from very famous city Agra, where the Taj Mahal is there, I have been working on the defenses against chemical and biological agent. And I look forward to have a fruitful collaboration with the La Trobe University, Australia. Welcome. Thank you very much once again.
Professor Trivedi.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Amity University, I welcome the delegation. I am Professor Kamal Kant Trivedi. I dedicated almost half a century in academics. By training, I am a nuclear scientist from IIT Kanpur, but I also work on material science and environmental sciences and so on. And 5 years stint I spent in Indian Embassy in Washington as on a diplomatic mission. And I love collaborations and I welcome a very strong academic collaboration with your university. Thank you so much.
Commander Kumar.
So good afternoon to the entire delegation, sir. We welcome you all to Amity. I am Commodore Atul Kumar. I am working with Honorable Chancellor. Thank you, sir.
Professor Vashisht.
Good afternoon to the delegation from Australia. We welcome you in India and we hope your pleasant stay and a long-term relationship with Amity. I am Dr. Anil Vashisht. I am the Deputy Pro Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior.
Professor Soni. Professor K.M. Soni.
Good afternoon to the member of delegation. I am Dr. K.M. Soni, Deputy Dean of Engineering Technology domain. It's a domain of engineering technology programs at UG, PG and PhD levels. We are offering 78 programs and close to 6,000 students are in this domain. And I'm also the PhD in charge for the Amity University of Uttar Pradesh, Noida or Lucknow and Greater Noida campuses. We have close to 3,000 scholars pursuing PhD in the science, technology and allied areas. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. So these were few of our stalwarts at Amity, but Professor, there are thousands of Amitians who are listening you online, and it's always a privilege to welcome you. And I am also thankful to the IIT team who's so ably organizing this event. Mr. Gaurav Bhatnagar, Mr. Kanesh, Prachi, Marut, and all others who are sitting here, Himani, Aditi, and Preeti ji. I think that all of them, they have contributed so significantly. We are very excited to further explore and see that what we can do together. But on behalf of our founder, Dr. Chauhan, behalf of our chancellors, on my own behalf, on all vice chancellors, it's such a privilege to welcome you and all 200,000 Amity family members. They are really excited to see you in India. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, respected Group Vice Chancellor, sir, for this very passionate presentation and a bird's eye view of the colossal Amity universe. Indeed, a very insightful address which highlights the vision of Amity towards strengthening the already existing bond between La Trobe and Amity. So over to Prachi to take the sessions further.
Thank you, Marat sir. We live in a society exquisitely dependent on science and technology, revolutionizing each moment in our lives with evolving technology. We have amongst us a very learned scientist who has spent many years for the service of the nation. Can we all put our hands together for Dr. W. Selvamurthy, Director, ADSI, and President, Amity Science and Technology Innovation Foundation.
Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, the Chancellors, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Dr. Asim Chauhan, who have also joined us on this very important visit of our friends from Australia. It's a great pleasure, an honor, privilege to welcome such a high-power delegation who have been with us earlier, and it's a great privilege to host you again and look forward to the expansion, deepening of our relationship, interaction, partnership with your university and in the years to come. We like to place on record our gratitudes to Professor John Deva, the Vice Chancellor and the President, and Professor Amalia Aorio, the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Mr. Amit Malhotra, Mr. Piyush, and all members of the family of the university which they head. And today your visit is taking place when India is looking for a strategic partnership with Australia. And in all domains, be it economic, be it trade, education, science and technology, cultural exchange, there is a tremendous activities happening between Australia and India. In fact, your president was here just about 6 months back with us in India. It was a great honor to host such a great president. And I was fortunate to be in the dinner with your Minister of Commerce and Industry when Mr. Piyush Goyal, our Minister of Commerce and Industry, hosted. So we were there and we were looking at how they are envisioning the partnership to blossom in the years to come. So that paves the background and the way that we have to work together to expand our relationship for mutual benefits of both the countries, Australia and India. And your visit also is taking place at a time when India is growing. The young, vibrant India is growing in all dimensions. Economic power. Today we are growing at the rate of GDP growth rate of 7.5%. And in some domains we are touching double digits. So India is emerging as an economic power. So we like to look at how do we also grow with you in economy, in total GDP as well. And India is also growing in education sector in a big way. The middle class strata is expanding. So the gross enrollment ratio growing, and the young India with the demographic advantage of having 1.4 billion people, 50% below the age group of 25 years of age. So this is a great opportunity for us to look at how do we harness this tremendous opportunity available today. The gross enrollment ratio now it's about 28%, which is very big, but then we have put a target of 50%, GER to be 50% maybe in the next 5-6 years. So there is a great opportunity for us to look at how do we harness with the provision government of India has given today under the National Education Policy, Science and Technology and Innovation Policy. There are two important policies which has really paved the way to look at all opportunities available, be it dual degrees, joint degrees, campus in India, campus in Australia, and the exchange of students both ways, and faculty exchange, collaboration and research, tremendous opportunity. I'm sure your visit is happening at that opportune time. And I'm sure that Amity would like to partner with you, expand, deepen our relationship to look at how we can do together to harness these opportunities. Now, I would give a little glimpse about Professor Gurinder Singh has given the Group Vice Chancellor about the tremendous strengths available in academics, the group strength. I will give a little glimpse about Mr. President, about the university. Today, in the recent national ranking, in India, we are number 22 among 1,000 universities, institutions, IITs, and all those central universities, BHU and Delhi University, JNU, and so on. Among all this, we are number 22, even though our age is just 17 years as a university, and we are now 22. But we want to come in top 10 very soon. So we are all working towards how do we take Amity to top 10. Then in engineering, we are 25.
The Indian Intellectual Property Office of the Government of India has conferred the National Intellectual Property Award 2020 on Amity University for Top Indian Academic Institution for Patents and Commercialization, a reflection of Amity's commitment to research and innovation.
Mr. President, we have filed 1,765 patents in the last 10-15 years. And then we are not only filing grant, getting it granted, but we are translating them into product, technology, process to reach out to the people through industry and for societal application. And in research, if you have to just give a glimpse, a bird's eye view of what we are today, we have in our campuses 400 plus projects, ongoing projects in our various campuses. If you look at the budget of those sanctioned, it's about 200 crores worth of projects is ongoing now. We have filed 1765 patents, and we have published 30,000 research papers in journals of repute like Nature, Lancet, Science, New England Journal of Medicine, the Cell, the Material Horizon, Nano Letters, Nano Today, PNAS, you name any top journal our faculties and researchers are publishing today. And our H index of our university is 102. So that is for a young university is quite satisfying. We have also transferred 18 technologies to the industry. So this is and we have focused on frugal innovation, cost-effective solutions, not very expensive ones, so that we address the needs of the people at the bottom of the pyramid as well. And we have research clusters, about 20 research clusters are very active. We have 35 centers of excellence in research and innovation. What we did, we created a very conducive ecosystem for research to blossom in our campuses. All our research institutions are, all our universities are research and innovation-driven universities. The first is a very seamless connectivity with our stakeholders, with universities. Now, LATROB, we want to expand this. So we connected with universities in India and abroad, and also connected with industry, national laboratories, and also the society at large, from where we look at the needs. Then we created an IPR protection cell, technology transfer cell, and also the technology enabling center to look at how do we mature a technology from a TR level 1 or 2 to 6 or 7. Then we also have an entrepreneurship development center. Then, can you get me some water? Then we brought some very vibrant human resource. That is very, very important. So we brought some senior people like Dr. B.C. Das, who is sitting here. And also we brought youngsters like Nagalashmi, Dr. No, thank you. Then we also brought people who have experienced abroad, who have studied abroad, spent about 5-10 years abroad, Ramalinga Swami, Ramanujan Fellows, inspired faculties. So these are people with rich knowledge, expertise, experience from working with that work ethos. So we brought them over here. So this blend worked very well. And also we connected with adjunct professors, Nobel laureates, like some of them I have shown here, the Nobel laureates here. And we created centers in their names. So like, for example, Sir Richard Roberts, who got Nobel Prize for gene splicing. And so we made a center on genome engineering here in Amity University. And he is the honorary president, the founder president of this center. So like this, we connected with the eminent people. They come and rub shoulders with our research scholars, faculties. That caused excitement to an ignition of passion for our researchers. So these are some of them you see here. Some of them on the online screen, you saw them. Dr. Rakesh Bhatnagar, P.B. Sharma, you see B.C. Das over here, and many, many more. I've just picked up a few to show. These are the youngsters who are doing remarkably. So more than about 50 of them are there in our campuses with these very prestigious national and international postdoctoral fellowship. Then we connected with more than 300 honorary and adjunct professors across the globe, from Stanford, Cambridge, Brown, Cornell, Kyoto, Singapore, Canada. And in fact, one of our faculty, Dr. Nidhi Chauhan, worked with the Harris in Australia. And she worked with the Nobel laureate and worked in the problem of cancer. So we have such connectivity with the eminent people, and Nobel laureate, our faculty go and work with them for 4 to 6 months and we publish papers together. This is the technology enabling center to mature the technology to a higher level so that industry is ready to commercialize. The next step was to create the necessary infrastructure. You see, some of the labs you will be visiting, perhaps if there is time, and these are world-class laboratories. We created wet labs and also the facilities like fax machine for cell studies, atomic absorption, scanning electron microscope, confocal microscope, HPLCs. So we created those research infrastructure. Then we also created another important lab for nuclear security. This was a lab established by Department of Defense, US, United States of America, in India, in Amity. Then the project was funded by DITRA, Defense Threat Reduction Agency, to create, how do we create the awareness about nuclear security? Because India possesses large number of nuclear assets, and in hospitals, in the irradiation facilities, in various food as well as cereals. So how do we secure? How do you assess? How do you strengthen the security? So we have the capacity building through this nuclear security. The lab was established from DITRA through Texas A&M University. Then we created missions to drive the whole system, like Mission Connect and Synergy. So we are connecting with La Trobe University now, and also with all of you. We want to bring synergy with your effort and with your people and our people working together. It becomes a force multiplier in our outcome. So we have a mission outcome. For everything, there should be a sustainable outcome. So that is a mission which Dr. Chauhan has created. Everything what we do, there must be a sustainable outcome. And we created another important mission, Impossible. We wanted to tenfold increase in research outcome in 3 years, and we achieved it. Then we brought industry to our campus, like Tata Technologies have put up very major facilities in automobiles, aerospace, and also robotic manufacturing. And their own scientists and engineers, they are there in our institute, our university, and grooming the youngsters and picking up the best brains for their industry. We have in urban development, the built environment, RICS. Sorry. Then we also have a National Research and Development Corporation, Amity Innovation Facilitation Center. Then Quansa, which is a Canadian company in control theories. They have put a center here in Amity. So this number we want to augment in the years to come. Maybe some of the Australian industries could also open here in our campus. We have MOUs, about 300 MOUs, and many of them, almost 85%, are very active, and both international and national. Then we created specialization and core competence in various verticals in those universities, which is 12 universities in India, 17 campuses abroad. And so we created certain verticals. Each university should be known for certain domains in which they are very strong. So some of them in our group is computational biology, cancer biology, translational research, molecular medicine and stem cell research, genome engineering, neuroscience, public health, click chemistry, Indian systems of medicine like yoga, Ayurveda, Siddha, and ocean and atmospheric science technology, drug design, and discovery. Then the other verticals are data science, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, robotics, space science and technology, including astrobiology, cybersecurity, Spintronics Center, food and agriculture, including post-harvest, and bioenergy and biofuels. So these are certain specialization in which there's a core competence available in our group in terms of research and innovation. Now, some glimpses about what innovations which have gone to the industry. If you look at the first one, the Rutonics, our country is in top 5 in agricultural produce. If you look at the milk in the world, we are number 1 in terms of production. And similarly, in agriculture, produce like vegetables, fruits, fishes, poultry, we are in top 5 in the world in terms of production. But what now Amity is focusing is on how do we increase the productivity per hectare, productivity per capita of the animal. So how do you increase that? So we have done some innovative research in application of microbial technology. This is a Rutonic, which is a root endophyte, which gives protection against the abiotic stress, low water availability, high temperature, low temperature, salinity of the soil, alkalinity of the soil. This gives protection. This fungus It's a root endophyte known as Piriforma spora indica, where we have developed the bioreactor, which can produce in large quantum. And we have given to 5 industries, including one in Taiwan. Taiwan-based company, Sinon Corporation, has also taken the technology. Then we wanted to double the income of farmers. You see the agriculture field in which you also put photovoltaic to harness the solar cells. So we have created double income for the farmer. One income on the ground from the crop, then using the solar energy harnessing, you get a double income for the farmer. We have put up actual demonstration plant here in a small land of 0.25 acres. We have been able to put 40 of them, each one giving 300 watts. Then total 12 kilowatt, of which farmer can use 2 kilowatt, and 10 kilowatt goes to the grid. So this doubles the income. So this is what is the very, very socially relevant. In fact, this was a technology which was propagated by Honorable Prime Minister's office when our secretaries, science secretaries were asked to give some 50 innovations in the country. So Amity was also presented this, and out of 50, Prime Minister picked up 2. One of this is our technology, agrivoltaic, because our farmers are small and marginal farmers. So that is why, how do we double the income? So this is a very important technology Amity has given. And similarly, you have in the previous slide, you will see that we are also working with the society. This is a pond in a village, Bilaspur village pond, using nanotechnology. We are able to purify this pond. And now the villagers are so happy that we have been the industrial effluent, heavy metals, and also the TDS, everything we brought to a level which is very, very conducive for the environment. Then from wastewater, we created electricity, and the Deccan Water Treatment Private Limited, which deals with STPs, they have taken the technology from wastewater using special electrodes which we have developed, aluminum electrodes, and we have been able to generate electricity. So this will be very useful for villages where there is no electricity, or even in urban systems, you can use it very economically. All that you need to add water and clean the electrodes periodically. Then for the industrial effluent, this is another technology which has gone to SBS Engineering, where we have developed a nano sponge which can be used to cleanse the industrial effluent and throw up clean water into the environment. Then we also have developed biodegradable plastics, which is PLA-free, cost-effective, and a Boston-based company has shown interest to take the technology, and it's almost getting materialized. And we have herbal mosquito repellent, because in villages, they don't have electricity in some villages. And so we have developed incessant sticks, which will also purify the environment in the hut or the houses, and also it will repel the mosquitoes. So simple, frugal solutions for the mosquito-borne diseases. And similarly, post-harvest, herbal packaging, because we lose 20 to 30% as a post-harvest loss. So how do we minimize it, both in harvesting, post-harvest, storage, transportation? So this is what we have done. One is using the biofilm, we have been able to wrap up the bananas, papayas, mangoes, so the ripening is delayed. And we are also using ethylene receptor blocking agent, MCP1. The other innovation I'll pick up here for providing the potable water in villages where a person is mobile, like services, security personnel, and when they go to the village, you cannot have such a water bottle there. So how do you give waterborne diseases? How do you take care? What we did, we took a pebbles, etched them to give greater porosity, impregnated the nano silver particle into the pores through a plasma process so that it doesn't leach out to the water. Then put them in a container. So keep dipping it in the water you want to drink for about 2 minutes, which is the retention time required for the microbes to be killed by the nano silver. So you have water ready for drinking. Dr. Das's work in cancer biology is a very strong vertical. I was seeing the president, you are also associated with the cancer center in Australia when I was looking at your profile. So we have a very innovative approach we are doing for the therapeutic application of a triple conjugate. it's very difficult to develop a known anti-tumor synthetic molecule and then combine it with curcumin, which is from turmeric curcumin, and a folate. So the folate gives the signature of a cancer stem cell. Why we attack stem cell? Because the cancer recurs after surgical removal, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, cancer comes back. Because you have not removed the stem cell, cancer stem cell. So we are attacking cancer stem cell by using this triple conjugate, which is folate gives the signature of the cancer stem cell. Then curcumin neutralizes some of the side effects, subdues the side effects of the therapeutic, chemotherapeutic agent. And ultimately, the cancer gets cured and never occurs again. So this is already, it has gone into preclinical part is over. Now we are going to look at the clinical aspects. So we work on early diagnosis of cancer. We have all types of cancer, right from cancer cervix, cancer breast, head and neck, liver, lung, and prostate cancer, all areas we work. And we also develop a natural L-DOPA for Parkinson's is another domain in which we are working. Wound healing is another area. I will just give a canvas so that you understand the breadth and also the important domains. Diabetes, food supplement we are working. And this is Baylor College of Medicine was a partner for our research here. Artificial intelligence-based platform we have developed for 3 applications. One is for vaccine development. How do you identify a potential candidate for a vaccine? If you have 300 molecules, which one is the most successful? So we have developed a AI platform which can downstream and bring it to 2 or 3 molecules which can be tried as the vaccine. Similarly, for repurposing of the drug. So we are using those AI platform. AI we are also using in 2 other applications. One is from the ECG, electrocardiogram, where you have PQ, RST wave, the amplitude, the patterns, slope. So we look at all this and predict whether this individual will get into a heart attack, ischemic heart disease or not. So such predictive medicine using AI platform is also there. And also to enhance the image processing through the pattern recognition, we have written algorithm to look at tuberculosis or any lung infection can easily be diagnosed at early stages using this AI platform. Then in the engineering side, we have also got a lot of strength. One is we have developed and handed over to industry a PCB prototyping machine. Because normally you use mechanical grooving or you use photolithography to make the prototype of PCBs. What we have done, Amity has done, is to develop a 3D printing using inkjet printing. You will be able to develop the prototype of PCBs without any mask and the clean rooms and so on. Then we also have developed N95 mask using 3D. We have sold more than 2,000 of these masks during the COVID situation. So such kind of work is happening. And also the carbon composite system for dye and heavy metal removal. This has been taken by SS Engineering Corporation and they are already using it, this Amity technology. These are some of the system. I would pick up one, the autonomous underwater system for not only military application, but also for the ocean development application, we can use it. Then we have a vegetarian capsule, purely vegetarian, gelatin-free capsule. But there are vegans in our country, the number is increasing. So we are using this. And the one which you see in the second one, mobile app integrated handheld organophosphorus compound, Tinku Basu, who is sitting here, she has developed, when you go to buy a vegetable, is OP compounds, pesticides are sticking to the surface of vegetables or fruits. Can you detect it? She has developed a biosensor that is on the mobile, mounted on mobile. So you just see, and then whether any OP compound within the threshold of acceptable level is there or not. So this is a system which Dr. Tinku Basu has developed. And similarly, we have, this is also from her, glycated hemoglobin biosensor, cholesterol, and the lipid profile. She has developed biosensor from Nanomedicine Group. Agriculture, we have a strong, Dr. Nutal Kaushik is here. We are looking at the productivity on one side by using microbial technology. The second we are looking at is on the biocontrol and plant disease management. Instead of using pesticide, can we have the biocontrol using trichoderma as well as nematode-based biocontrol? Biofortification of zinc is another area using transfoliage penetration of zinc. So we spray that on the plant. So through the leaves, it gets absorbed into the plant. So we are also working on zinc biofortification. And in terms of the post-harvest, we are looking at 3 approaches: zero energy cooling chamber for small and marginal farmers. And also the second is a biosensor, which we have developed, which will look at the differential temperature. And third is reversible blocking of ethylene receptors. And we transfer all this knowledge through extension activities.
Dr. Sulamurthy, that maybe that Vice Chancellor has requested, but we will be able to send him the presentation.
Right.
And we have to go for a lunch also.
Right.
And he has to from the campus in next minutes.
Thank you. So I will just now end. We have on environment side, then we have strong space science and technology group, and we are doing AI-based for the facial identification of individual. And these are research clusters. And this was what we did during COVID. And our people are recognized. They are fellows of Royal Society of Chemistry, Royal Society of Biology. 14 of our Amity faculties are in top 2% in the Stanford survey, which they have conducted. So thank you very much. And it's a pleasure having you with us. And let us look forward to build a strong partnership. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for an eloquent presentation.
So having heard the most erudite presentations, which give us a mandate to follow outcome-based approach, we move forward. Leadership is not about titles. It is not about position or work hours. You know, the very presence of Professor Devar here at Amity campus today testifies this fact. So we are honored to have you. And without further delay, may I now most respectfully invite Professor John Devar to share a few thoughts with us. Welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, keep the applause coming.
Thank you very much for that incredibly generous and warm welcome. It's a real pleasure to be back here at Amity University after 3 years' absence, owing to, well, reasons that we all understand. Professor Singh, it's wonderful to meet you again, and it's been fantastic to meet your wider leadership group and to hear more about the great research that you're doing here at Amity University. Chancellor Chauhan, it's a great honor to meet you. We've never met before, and I hope that one day we'll be able to meet face-to-face rather than virtually, but a real pleasure to meet you. And Professor Sharma, I noticed that amongst your many accomplishments, you listed the presidency of the Association of Indian Universities. You have my sympathies because I'm the chair of Universities Australia, which is your equivalent in Australia. I suspect you have many more members than we do, but I'm going to meet your CEO tomorrow, and I very much hope that we can renew the close collaboration between our two peak bodies that we used to enjoy 7 or 8 years ago. So I look forward to having that conversation tomorrow. It's often said that India and Australia share many things in common, that those things are a shared love of Indian food and of cricket. But my view is that the real passion that both our countries share is a commitment to and a belief in the power of education. And I think that's true. I think that characterizes both countries, the belief systems of both countries, the absolute importance of education for our young people. It's a very exciting time in relations between India and Australia, particularly around all types of education, but particularly skills education and higher education. I've been coming to India now for well over 20 years, and I don't think I've ever experienced a period in which there is such a sense of excitement and of the potential for the deepening and the growth in the Australia-India relationship, particularly focused on education. The national education policy that was recently adopted here sets some really ambitious targets for the education of young people in India. And I met this morning with the High Commissioner to India from Australia, Barry O'Farrell, who reminded me that 1 million Indians turn 18 every month. It's an extraordinary statistic. And when you combine that with the 50% target in the national education policy, you can see just how ambitious, the scale of the ambition that the Indian government is setting all of you and indeed all of your friends and partners. There's also the new free trade agreement, the economic cooperation and trade agreement signed between Australia and India earlier this year, which itself will lead to a new era of liberalisation in the potential for what Australian universities can contribute here in India. So against that background, I believe it was incredibly prescient of Professor Singh 5 years ago to suggest that it was time for La Trobe University and Amity University to come together around a strategic partnership. Because that foresight, I think, is now being demonstrated in the fact that as a strategic partners, we have huge opportunities ahead of us to take advantage of this new landscape. So today we will be renewing sometime in the next 45 minutes our MOU that was signed in 2018. We were starting to gather momentum around our relationship when COVID came along. So I think that's another reason why this is such a timely moment to take stock and look ahead as we come out of COVID and start to be able to take advantage of travel restrictions being lifted and the possibility for staff and student exchanges resuming. Let me just say a little bit about my own university. I do have a PowerPoint presentation, but it would take too long for me to go through it. But let me just highlight a few of the facts and figures. Professor Singh talked a good deal about rankings, as did Dr. Selva Murthy, and that was a fantastic presentation, by the way. Just to give you an idea of where La Trobe sits, we're now in the top 300 of the Shanghai ranking, used to be known as the academic rank of world universities. Thank you. We've just moved into the top 300, which we're very pleased about. We're ranked just outside the top 300 on the QS rankings, but this year we rose 46 places on the QS ranking. We were by far the fastest moving riser in Australia. And indeed, QS themselves commented on the speed with which La Trobe is rising up through the QS rankings. And it's based pretty much entirely on the number of citations of the articles and other publications of our academics. In fact, they described our improvement as remarkable. We're in the top 300 on the Times Higher Education ranking. We're in the top 20 globally on the Times Higher Education Impact ranking. That's the ranking that measures the contribution that universities make to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And we're in the top 50 on the QS rank for international students. So I think we're a worthy partner for Amity University, which is also clearly very rapidly rising through the various national and global rankings. We have particular strengths in food and agriculture. So Dr. Selva Murthy, I was fascinated to hear of the work you're doing in that field, and I could see great opportunities for collaboration. Similarly, we're very strong in the natural environment, in preventing disease, in public health. And I was very interested in the comments made about the work you're doing on AI and mental health, because we are similarly interested in the application of digital technologies to support innovation in healthcare delivery and diagnosis, and we're very strong in the social sciences and humanities. So I think there's a great platform between the two institutions for further and future collaboration. Now, as Professor Singh said, so far, that collaboration has focused around student mobility, although that's been sadly restricted in recent years because of closure of international borders. Articulations and joint programs, and I think the opportunities there are about to explode if the ECTA, the Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement, does indeed lead to greater mutual recognition of qualifications and of credits. I know that Amity is interested in setting up a campus in Australia, as you have in 17 other locations around the world. Let's make Australia the 18th, and we're very interested to talk about that. We think there is enormous opportunity to persuade more young Australians to come and spend time in India. I think there is now a growing realization amongst the youth of Australia that India is going to be a global powerhouse, not perhaps a superpower. I'm not sure that India wants to be a superpower, but that India will take its rightful place in the global world order, and it will be a very significant force to be reckoned with. And I think young Australians are starting to realize that, and they will want to come and find out more about what's going on here. So I'm hoping that that can be a strand to our relationship. And of course, there's the Joint Centre for Eminence that Professor Singh talked about earlier. So I think we are at a really exciting moment. I can't remember a time in relations between Australia and India where there has been such a sense of possibility, of excitement and potential. And that comes from your government's aspiration for the education of your young people and their willingness to look at the relaxation of regulations governing the operation of foreign universities in India and the potential for collaboration. So I'm very excited. It's wonderful to be back here. I've really missed India for the last 3 years, and I look forward to working with all of you into the future. Thank you very much.
What an overwhelming presentation by Professor Devar, highlighting the timeless bond between our respective nations. And of course, Amity University and La Trobe, perhaps one quality which we carry from you, Honorable Vice Chancellor, is agility is perhaps one of the biggest qualities of a great leader. And that was evident when you were speaking. Due to paucity of time, we had a brief presentation. So we now invite Professor Amalia for a short address. Okay, then.
Amity is a big family and present globally. And here we take the pleasure of being joined by Professor Leon Chong, Regional CEO, Amity Global Institute, Singapore, present virtually with us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Warmest greetings from Amity in Singapore. I'm thrilled to be in the presence of La Trobe University's most eminent luminaries. Many of us in Singapore view La Trobe University as one of Australia's best professional universities with a global reputation for academic excellence. Yours is a university that has long established links of industry and a strong record in graduate employability. For our part, as one of the world's largest education conglomerates, boasting more than 150 institutions across the globe, we are deeply honored to welcome La Trobe University as our faithful partner in this journey of learning. Every day, Amity continues to expand, bringing learning opportunities and new hope to people across the world. In Southeast Asia, our Group Chancellor, Dr. Asim Chauhan, has met with top government leaders to reaffirm Amity's commitment to the professional and academic development of all Singaporeans. At his last meeting with Singapore's Deputy Prime Minister, our Group Chancellor pledged Amity's support towards imparting cutting-edge skills that will be necessary to propel the region's future economy. You'll be pleased to know that in the upcoming graduate employment survey, Amity's graduates will be shown to earn amongst the best starting salaries in the region. Based on the strength of Amity's global reputation, we are able to educate students from over 42 different countries, including China, Vietnam, Korea, Indonesia, Mongolia, Japan, India, Myanmar, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan. Under the circumstances, we are pleased to work with La Trobe University to offer your prestigious qualifications to our students throughout the region. Vice-Chancellor, you spoke about the power of education. Together, I foresee that our collaboration will open up new avenues and opportunities that our students might otherwise never experience. We tell our students that learning is not a destination. It is a lifelong voyage. But with the right people, the journey of learning can be a very enjoyable one. As such, we would be pleased, honored, and privileged to welcome La Trobe University to join us in our mission to offer quality programs in Singapore and the region. Amity Singapore is housed in a beautiful National Heritage building that is over 180 years old. That is 3 times older than Singapore itself as an independent nation. However, it boasts the most modern of facilities and was in fact the former campus of the University of Chicago in Singapore. Through our collaboration, it can also be your campus, delivering programs from La Trobe University. The time is right for us to offer programs from Australia. We already work with a number of prestigious British universities, but La Trobe University is our first choice when Australian universities are concerned. I look forward to discussing this with you and your team in detail when the time is appropriate. Thank you.
Many thanks, Professor Shaw.
Professor Leon and Professor Amelia was telling me that last week she was in Singapore and she was able to see our campus from outside. But I Vice Chancellor and both Pro Vice Chancellors that next time they are in Singapore, they must come and we have to make an occasion to invite them.
Always welcome.
Yeah, and he's saying that to invite inside, not from outside.
For sure.
Thank you so much, sir.
Maybe before that, you can invite the Honorable Chancellor.
Sure. We now await for the much-awaited concluding address. We now sincerely request our Honorable Chancellor, Amity University, Rajasthan, and President RBEF, Dr. Aseem Johan, sir, for his concluding address. He is the think tank of Amity Foundation and has to his credit some of the most glorious achievements in the history of the group. He's globally acclaimed as an education revolutionary. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Prachi. Thank you, Marut. An absolute pleasure to be here. Before I give my address, I know we are very short of time, but I would like to give 1 minute of my time to Professor Amelia to just hear. You can stay even where you are on the microphone. Just one line from you, Professor Amalia. The day would not be complete without hearing a few words from you. I will shorten my address accordingly.
Oh, look, thank you so much. I would just like to go, has already been said today, how privileged we feel to have this partnership with Amity University. It's probably one of the first partnerships we've here in India, where we have been very active, particularly with our student and faculty exchange, and with that myriad of activities that Professor Singh highlighted earlier. So we're very privileged to have this fantastic partnership and very privileged to be here. Well, this is my second international. I think we'll swap. There you go. Thank you, Professor Singh. This is my second international trip. The first was to Singapore, and the second here is to India, and this is our second meeting. So I think that reflects the importance of this partnership and of the relationship that we think would continue to foster as time goes on. Thank you so much. And it's wonderful to see so many colleagues here, and we look forward to strengthening and deepening our relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Amalia. And on behalf of our founder president, Dr. Ashok Chauhanji, all trustees and senior management of Amity, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome the delegation of La Trobe University, Vice Chancellor Devar. It is an absolute honor to have you and your team Professor Amalia and Mr. Amit and Mr. Piyush on campus. Your last visit was on October 13, 2018. And although we did not meet in person, I got great feedback that there are very few leaders with the vision of Professor Devar. Dr. Gurinder Singh spoke so highly about how you think about global education, your focus on research and quality. And we are so happy that you are back again. On that particular day, two large announcements had been made, the launch of the center, which you have both mentioned. And on that day, you had also given a certificate of scholarship for young women leaders in India of a significant amount, showing your contribution to diversity in education and bringing young female minds to Australia. Today, we are continuing our dialogue and relationship. Professor Devar, we are absolutely delighted at your presence. We have great confidence that our universities together will achieve tremendous things. And truly, it is when we collaborate that we can achieve more. The importance of today's visit is, of course, reflected in the galaxy of people represented from Amity that are present in the room and online. There are very few gatherings where so many people, vice chancellors, heads of institutions, research heads from so many of our universities are present. And I think it is a sign of our great belief that Amity University and La Trobe University have a very bright future together and indeed can make a mark in global education. Already, Professor Devar, you have highlighted some of the areas of collaboration, and I was very encouraged that as the introductions of our people were happening, people were so excited about expressing their desire to work with your university and expressing the areas of potential collaboration. It is when there is that people-to-people exchange and faculty-to-faculty collaboration that university partnerships truly take off, and hearing from our people their ideas of what can be done was truly encouraging to me. There are a few areas that Amity truly believes in, and I feel where we can work with La Trobe University to make a mark. One is that we, as Dr. Selvamurthy in his presentation had highlighted, and Dr. Selvamurthy, whenever I see your presentation, it is always changing, so dynamic. Over the last few days, Dr. Selvamurthy, you have been so busy. Over the weekend, you were in Jodhpur at the Desert Laboratory, Jodhpur of the DRDO. You went to the Desert Medicine Research Center. Then you rushed on Monday morning. You had the chairman of SEPTAM here on campus, Dr. Apavaraj. And since that, in the evening and yesterday, you have been continuously working. I was noticing a small itch in your throat. If I can request administration to bring a glass of hot water for Dr. Selvamurthy, who is so valuable and precious to us as a group. But in your presentation, Dr. Selvamurthy, you highlighted the great focus of Amity to work in areas of science and technology to have impact and solve the greatest problems of society and the world. Through our clusters, through our collaborative efforts, through synergy, we really want to have an impact. And La Trobe University, of course, has a motto, a saying that the impact is real, which is highlighted in all of your collaterals and websites. And you go further, President Devar, Vice Chancellor Devar, to highlight the kind of impact that your research, your work at the university is doing. I think in that we are completely aligned, and maybe together we can align some of the initiatives we have to see if together we can be part of some kind of collaborations that can have a global impact in some of the areas of mutual collaboration. We, of course, also have a common goal of creating better leaders through education, through training, and through travel. And I'm sure that this dedication to student mobility, articulation programs, providing a global perspective to our students at both universities and around the world has a lot of potential in developing programs of working together. One of the areas that at Amity we are very focused on is creating even further accessibility to quality education in India and abroad. And for that, as had been mentioned by our colleagues, the gross enrollment ratio, the GER, is very important for us to up to become even further advanced in our higher education sector. In that area, online education and technology enabled learning is one of our great focus areas. And I'm happy to see that La Trobe also has very strong online programs. And in lifelong learning, you also have short-term development programs expanding the definition of what a university is, not only working with those students in the ages of 18 to 24, but really looking at lifelong learning, how we can develop better employability skills in the lifetime cycle of any individual. We at Amity have a great focus on trying to develop the economy of our regions and communities through entrepreneurship development and startups. We are one of the most active entrepreneurship ecosystems in the country, with more than 11 incubators in India and a number abroad, supported by government initiatives. And I'm so happy that you at La Trobe have the Big Leap incubator in partnership with Arrow Digital and supported by OS Industry. Again, in that area, I think there is a lot that we can do. In the area of social impact and social development, at Amity, our founder president, Dr. Ashok Chauhanji, has from the beginning said that our universities have to work beyond the boundaries of our campuses and really think about the impact we are having on society and for the underprivileged and for the weaker sections of society. The fact that you are working at La Trobe on preserving wildlife and in fact have a sanctuary for wildlife and flora and fauna on the campus is tremendous. And we are so happy to see the alignment of the definition of a university to go beyond just teaching and learning and asking the question, how can we make the world a better place and improve society? Dr. Gurinder Singh, I congratulate you. You have always done a wonderful job in identifying the right partners who are aligned in mission and vision with the Amity Group, and the opportunities that we have with La Trobe University, which we are further today solidifying in the renewal of our MOU, is something truly fantastic. I am sure that all of our colleagues in the room and online, who are some of the most eminent people in academia and research, will be part of this journey to manifest the potential of this collaboration and the paper that we are signing here today. And Vice Chancellor Dewar, it is not only in India, but as you have heard from Professor Leon Chung, who is the CEO of ASEAN and one of the most respected academic education leaders in Singapore. I would not say it if I were not 100% sure that were true, but he is. The fact that he is interested to bring La Trobe to the ASEAN region and other opportunities for us to bring our partnership to the United States and Africa, the Middle East. I think it is truly a global partnership, not only an India-Australian partnership that we are looking at today. And most importantly, your leadership, your vision, your dynamism, your can-do attitude, and your ability to always follow up and bring action. President Dewar is something we greatly admire. We look forward to working with you and meeting you in person very soon. In the interest of time, I will stop here and look forward to the further deliberations of announcing our renewal of the MOU. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Chancellor, sir, for your concluding remarks and for reinstating Amity's commitment towards La Trobe and strengthening our association again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for signing of the MOU, the historical moment that we've been waiting for. So may I please request Honorable Chancellor Asim Sohan, sir, Group Vice Chancellor Dr. Gurinder Singh, sir, Vice Chancellor Professor Dewar to please join us. Also, we'll invite you for the curtain raiser. Can we have a huge round of applause, please? As we announce the Memorandum of Understanding on Academic Cooperation between La Trobe University, Australia, and Amity Universities and Institutions, India and worldwide.
Thank you so much. I think it's time for felicitations now. May we request our key functionaries to join us on the dais and the hospitality team to kindly take it forward.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. With the permission of the chair, and competent authority, the session has now come to an end, and it'll be followed by lunch. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for the privilege given to us for joining this great movement. Thank you so much.